So I heard you wanted to make the cat purr. Well, I've got you covered. I'm going to start off with the EFB. Now, you can connect a ground power unit now if you want electrics to the aircraft, but I'm just going to start up via battery. You can also do the APU startup here. I'm going to do that via the buttons. And you can also change the state of the aircraft from cold and dark to started or ready for takeoff. But where's the fun in that? So, going to get rid of the covers, the ladder, and the wheel chocks. This is the updated version, so there's an oxygen refill tank if your oxygen tank is actually empty. So we can do that now. Next one, you choose GPS if you're going to use one. I'm not. Next is the fuel gauge. Fuel tanks. I'm not going to do a flight as such, but I'm prepping this as if I was going to do a full flight. I do like to carry full internals and an external fuselage tank, which we click there, add the tank, fill up. Now I want to change the totalizer. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't, and it's not working again this time, so that should go over 4,000. But yeah, hit the totalizer after you fill the tanks up. That should change it, but it hasn't at this stage, so we'll just ignore that for now. Otherwise I'll just having to keep repeat recording the video. Next is externals. As you can see, the drop tank's already been added. The aircraft very rarely flew unless they were special display variants of the aircraft without pylons, so I'll add those. And that's EFB done. Close that with that button. Next we're going to remove the ribbon. As you can see, it moves the throttles out of shut off into idle. I'm just going to right click those on the mouse, put those back into shut off because it's part of the startup procedure. Now switch on the battery, guard that, shut off the alarm. Now we're going to do an anti-clockwise check of the aircraft, so make sure air conditioning is off. It is. Pressurization lever is off, which it is. Check the voltmeter, reads 24 volts, which is good. We're going to check the alarms here, so grab this button, drag it to the left. As you can see, everything illuminates and we have that alarm. Okay, put that back into the middle, clear the alarm. Check the fuel gauge, working as it should. Come across and we're going to check our slats, flaps and undercarriage gauge. Push that button. As you can see, everything's illuminated. Let go of it, all goes out. Checking to make sure differential deflection is in auto. Making sure that the spoilers are out. If this light is on, they're out. If not, as we have no hydraulics running at the moment because the engines are off, we need to switch on the electro-hydraulic pump, so switch that to auto. You'll see the hydraulics rise on number 2, and we've got hydraulics cycling there. And then what you can do is, if that light is not illuminated, we can flick the switch. You can see it's cycling. They're now closed. Do it again, hydraulics are cycling, they're now open. Drop that back into off, hydraulics will drop on number 2, and we're ready to start a micro turbo. Come down, switch on our radio to transmit receive so we can talk to the tower and get permission to start up. Secondary radio back here, and then we want to switch on our anti-collisions to both, which is 2 clicks up. Warn the people outside the aircraft we are about to start. So the next thing we're going to do start is the micro turbo. So come down here, flick on the transfer pumps, guard it. The low pressure valves are already open as standard. Come down to the APU switch, flick it from stop to run, and then we're going to push the start button in. Micro turbo will whir up and the light is on, which is good. Give that a second to settle. Okay, we've got a good APU start. Now we're going to grab this switch, flick it into the start position, ready to start our engines. So we're going to start the right one first, so grab our starter switch, drag to the right. RPMs are building. Once it's over 20%, we're going to come out of D10 into idle. So there we go. Fuel flow has been introduced. EGT will start climbing. Hydraulics on the 2 will start climbing now. That'll settle around about 55%. Or maybe a little bit higher. And we've got a good start on number 1. Okay, we'll start number 2 now. So we're going to grab, well actually before we do that, put the rectifiers on first. And alternator number 2. Okay, that's supply power to the aircraft now. And we're going to grab the start switch, drag to the left. Again, once the RPM gauge goes over 20%, we'll bring the throttle out of D10. 20%, D10. Good. EGTs will start climbing, as will the hydraulics. Not sure what's going on there. Okay, we've got a good start on the left engine. EGTs are climbing. Let the engine settle. Now we can turn off our micro turbo. And we're going to switch the ventilation. Switch the ventilation. Okay, that's a good start on both engines. We're going to close the canopy now. Lock it down. Get aircon on. Pressurization switch lever to on, demist to the windshield. Okay, now starting from the left going round, we're going to switch on the altitude alarm. The IFF we'll come back to in a second. We'll switch on the power to our VOR ILS and also to the TACAN, transmit receive. Get our nav lights, drag that to the left so that they're fixed. If you drag the switch to the right, it's fixed but dimmed, and if you drag the switch up, you'll get flashing navigation lights. Okay, so going around again, just make sure that we've got everything. Hydraulic pump to auto, guard that. Zero out the altimeter to AGL and number 2 as well. Do find that annoying when that happens, but hey, okay. So we go round, we can switch on the pitot now and the secondary artificial horizon. And we can switch on the alternator for the left engine now, which I forgot a second ago. Okay, looks like we're good. I'm going to get the flaps up to 20 degrees, ready for takeoff. And I'm going to trim to 4 degrees nose high for takeoff trim. Okay, now we can set the IFF. So I'm going to set that to 7524, just a random one. Set that to standby. IFF mode 4. Okay, and looks like we're ready to go. Just make sure we've not missed anything. Yep, all good. Okay, so taxi light on. To get this switch, drag it back. Take off the parking brake, which is this one here. If you haven't got it bound to anything, so you can click that. And then we're going to throttle up, get our spoilers in, and we're ready to roll. So hydraulics good, trim's good, EGTs are good. Oh, and if you don't know where the nose wheel steering button is, it's here on the stick. It's on by default, but if it's not, then you know where to click, just down here. This thing ground handles absolutely brilliantly, so you shouldn't have any issues at all getting to the end of the runway. I'm going to taxi to 2-2. Which, if you're an ex-Cultural fan, you'll know is the best end for takeoff and landings. Past 16 squadron. And 41. I'm going to reset the G meter as well for the flight. Alright, just going to do our final checks before we take off. Looking around, we're going to switch on our landing light. That's good. Switch on our IFF to norm now. We've not tuned into anything. We're going to tune into 48 X-ray, which is RF Coningsby, just to get the needle moving once we get up in the air, if we're able to pick it up from there. Okay, so it all looks good. Taxi up. Now it's just going to be a matter of settling the aircraft at the end of the runway. Not parking brakes, just the brakes on. We are going to put on full military power. Okay, we're going to let the engine settle. Okay, and we're going to set the reheat in 3, 2, 1. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you will have noticed that the reheat didn't actually engage, so I'm taking off on full military power only. Now, this may be a comedic error on my part, and as it's in the sim, it can be really sort of looked over, but in the real world, this did have a fatal consequence, as on the 23rd of January 1996 at RAF Cultural, Jaguar A XX733 was lost with the pilot, Flight Lieutenant Greg Mark Noble. What happened was he was number 3 in a 3 ship, taken off from runway 04, so the opposite way from where I'm coming from, and he took a long time to get off the ground, and when he did finally get off the ground, he was just high enough that the undercarriage clipped the safety netting that we have at what we had at the end of the RAF bases that had Jaguars. So if there was a brake failure on landing or whatever, it would catch the aircraft before it had the chance to overrun the runway and escape the airfield. A bit like what they have on aircraft carriers. Anyway, yes, his nose wheel clipped the top of the netting, causing the aircraft to dive down into the ground, bursting into flames, and it all happened so quickly the ejection seat literally didn't have time to go off, even though he'd pulled the handle. So unfortunately, with the loss of the pilot, Flight Lieutenant Greg Mark Noble, and GR1B XX733. So even though in this case it can be looked over because it's just a simulator, in the real world it did have serious consequences. Okay, I'm going to rotate around about 160, 170 knots. Up. Let's get the aircraft tidy, out of reheat, and on our merry way. And we picked up Coningsby, 59 nautical miles away. So there you go, that's cold starting the Azurpoly Jaguar A. I hope you got something from this. If I've done anything wrong, let me know. And remember to dislike and tell me to go f*** myself in the comments. Thanks for watching, take care.